Okay. My claim is that consuming soy-based products is superior in regards to personal health and for our environment compared to meat products. Eating soy not only saves defenseless animals from dying, but furthermore is much better and much healthier for you. The American Heart Association reports that people who eat soy have a lower risk of obesity, coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and some forms of cancer. Meat is generally loaded with saturated fat, cholesterol, and has very low complex carbohydrates and fiber. Calcium, protein, fiber, and iron are all found in soy. Men's Health magazine rated chicken as the #1 food you should never eat because of its high rate of bacterial contamination and because the most toxic form of poison, arsenic, is used in chicken feed to promote their growth. For most meat, obviously you guys know about factory mills. They process meat so quickly that they have to put hormones and injections in meat, and as you eat that meat, you're eating that stuff too. And that's why you see people who are younger so much bigger and when they're not supposed to be because of their hormones that they're eating from meat. Compared to meat, soy has zero cholesterol, which especially slims your waistline. Soy is a rich source of high-quality protein. A lot of people ask me where I get my protein from. I eat a lot of soy, so I get a lot of protein from soy. Complex carbohydrates, fiber, folic acid, healthy fat, and antioxidants. It lowers blood pressure, and it's due to the low glycemic level, and it helps build really strong bones. Compared meat to a Boca burger, you will be surprised the protein is higher in the Boca burger at 14 grams, whereas regular meat only has 12.3 grams. Boca has 3 grams total fat, while burger has 108 grams of total fat. So that tells you right there. Not only does eating meat affect our health, but it also negatively impacts our environment. To keep the factory mills running, it takes a lot of emissions and chemicals to be processed, and where all those chemicals go inside of you, and they also get sprayed into the air because they can't put it into the water anymore because of health codes. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, the runoff from factory farms pollutes our rivers, lakes, and more in our air than any other industrial sources combined. So a lot of people are worried about, businesses letting out fuel and emissions, but actually the foods in the factory mills let out way more than any of that. The researchers at the University of Chicago switching to a soy-based or vegan diet is 50% more effective than switching from a regular carb to a hybrid carb. So all those people are switching to hybrid carbs, it's actually more effective if you stop eating meat because of the factory mills. Factory farms get around pollution limits by taking the urine and feces stored in these pools and they turn them into liquid waste, which is then sprayed into the air. So if you live by a factory mill, you're basically inhaling urine and feces all day from the factory mills. Not that animals shouldn't be raised, because they should, but the amount that the factory mills produce is over the amount of that they would normally produce for certain things. Soy is grown much like fruits and vegetables, so it has low emissions into our pollution and into our air. So it's grown just like any other thing and processed the same. Eating meat not only harms our health, but devastates our environment due to the cultivation process involved in raising animals. Factory farm animals are sick and diseased and shoved into tiny little cages. One farmer states that crowded pigs pay and chickens are cheap and cages are expensive. So what they do instead is they shove as much animal as they possibly can so the meat is just sitting like this. So they're pooping on each other, peeing on each other, and then they just inject a bunch of hormones in them, make them grow really big, and make them have babies and all these things that they're not supposed to be. Many will say that animals are going to die anyway, so harming them, shoving them into tiny cages is no big deal. But just think of all the hormones, poisons, and diseases that is inside the animal when you cook it. Even though you're cooking the animal, it's still inside of it, and you're still digesting these things. Fishes are dragged outside of their habitat and are placed inside of the cages, which are packed so tightly that the enormous amount of feces leads to rampant outbreaks of parasites and diseases. The farmers then drop tons of antibiotics inside of these cages and other chemicals into the water so the fish can then be sold. You then consume the fish with these antibiotics. You may think, oh, antibiotics are good, that's what my doctor gives me, but the antibiotics that they give the fish is to remove chemicals, which you're not removing when you do the antibiotics. By eating organic soy, you're eating a healthy protein without harming the environment or yourself. It is healthier in the long run to eat soy. It lowers your risk of cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, saturated and total fat, and cholesterol. Soy has better health benefits, it's better for our environment, and it doesn't